Good afternoon, Colin here with Techout, and today we have a very exciting unboxing. Another product here from Anker. Just to get this out of the way, I did pay for this with my own money. I did reach out to my contact at Anker that had sent me a couple items in the past, asking if this was available for review. However, I didn't hear back in the past couple days, so I just went ahead and went on Amazon and picked up my own because I really wanted something like this, and it's actually in a pretty plain box. Normally Anker has kind of, their design and everything all over the box, but this is pretty plain. This came out overseas a little while ago, and then it just released in the US. I believe it just became available on Amazon in the past week. At the time I'm recording this here in mid-July 2025. It is the Anker Nano charging station 7-in-1 with the retractable cables. And that is really cool because I have a Basis one, or Basis, or however you're going to say it. I have one of their chargers that has the retractable cable and the Qi 2 stand on it, but for whatever reason, that it does not work well with my Galaxy S25 Ultra. Or sorry, my Galaxy S25 Edge. It worked with my Ultra just fine, but when I plug in my Edge, it just restarts the charger over and over again. It just power cycles the entire charger. So not too sure why. Doesn't matter where I plug it in. The only place it'll charge is on the wireless charger. Any of the USB-C ports or any of the retractable cable, it just restarts the charger. So not a huge fan of that. Basis did end up refunding me for it. I sent them a video of what was going on, and they just gave me my money back. So I guess I have that for free. It does charge other devices, so I'm kind of confused as to why it won't work with my S25 Edge, because everything else does, but it just doesn't want to charge. We have a little note here about the retractable cable, kind of how to pull it out and retract it and stuff like that. I'll show you how it works in a second. If you've ever used like one of those ratcheting extension cord kind of deals, same concept. Go ahead and get this plastic off here. Does have a pre-attached cable, so you can't remove the cable. It's about the size of an alarm clock. Like a standard kind of just basic alarm clock is kind of what this reminds me of it looking like. So on a nightstand, this thing is absolutely perfect. Cool thing is you also have 3 AC outlets on the back that have surge protection. So you can plug in other devices if you have obviously I wouldn't play anything crazy in here, but if you want to plug in like a laptop or something like that, you can do that. Maybe if you have this on your desk, maybe you can power like your monitors or something right here. That's kind of like an example I saw. But this is going in my room on my nightstand to replace the Basis one. I have my other Anker one in here, the 250 watt with the Wi-Fi. We've got your button right up here for the screen. I don't know why they covered the button, but they didn't cover the screen in anything. Kind of weird, but we have the cables. They just magnetically attach to the side when they aren't being used, so you can't really see them. There also is a USB-C and USB-A port right here on the side as well. If you need something, plug in your own cable or whatever the case may be. If you have like a lightning device, maybe you can use one of those ports. So here's how it works. If you pull it out, this is the minimum length right here. Anything after that, it's just going to retract back in. But right there is the minimum length, and then you can pull it out in increments. So you kind of pull it past the point that it's going to lock, and then you let go, and it will lock in. Pull it all the way out here. I think it's 2.2 feet is the length of these, and they're just flat cables. Just got a little clip right there to keep it from going in too far on the thing, and then put it back in. You just give it a little pull, let go, snaps right back into place. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this plugged in somewhere so we can plug up a device and show you guys the screen and charging speeds and all that kind of stuff. All right, so I had to move over here to my other table so I could plug it in. So right here we have the main screen. This is the main screen right here. It just shows you your total wattage from all your ports. Obviously the AC ports on the back are not counted on the screen or anything like that. It's just the USB ports. So you can tap it again, and then you can get per port wattage. So C1, C2, C3, and A1. And the ports are C1, C2 is the plug-in, and then C3 is the cable over here. And then you can tap again, and it will give you the smart protection, which is like the temperature, so you can see if it's getting warm. If it does get too warm, it will slow down the power output to, you know, make it cool down. It is almost heavy enough to where you can pull these out without holding it. As you can see, it does kind of slide on the table though, especially once the cable gets probably about halfway out. You're going to need to go ahead and like put your hand on top of it or something like that. So we have my Galaxy S25 Edge right here, which is currently at 57%. So we'll go ahead and plug it in. The Galaxy S7 Edge only has fast charge, super fast charge, doesn't have super fast charge 2.0. Go back over here so you can see we're pulling 17 watts right there. And it shows you that on C3, 16.9, 17 watts. It doesn't show you the amps or voltage or anything like that, like some do. I know the basis one does show amps and watts and all that kind of stuff on there as well. I have my iPhone here, which is at 1%. So if I can get this plugged in before it dies, I ran this down just for this video. I'm gonna tuck this cable over here. There we go. So there's that. And then we'll go ahead and pull this one out. I'm gonna probably put some like Velcro or something, or maybe like a 3M adhesive under it, so I can pull it out without having to, you know, hold it if it's on my nightstand. There we go. Extend it a little bit more. Go ahead and plug it into my iPhone. This is capable of 100 watts, by the way, combined. So you can see there, we've got the little thing. It just tells you plug something in, and then it's going to redo it and send the equal amount of power to both. Well, not equal amount, because it can power, it can max out each device on 2 devices. So the iPhone's pulling 27.1 watts, and the S25 Edge is pulling the 17.2 still. And then you can look over here and you can see the temperature of the charger. And it will say cooling down here if it's like slowed down to cool down. But you can see it still says normal. It's still in the blue because we just plugged everything in. And then if I wanted to, I could plug in another USB cable or a USB-A cable, and we could use the other 2 ports. It's 100 watts on one port, and then I think it'll do like 65 and like 45-ish or something like that, or 65 and 33, or it depends. They have a diagram on the listing you can look at to see if you have 1 device plugged in, 2 devices plugged in, 3 or 4, and how it's going to divide up the power. So everything is charging at its full speed. You know, we wake this up here and see it's still the same. Wake the iPhone up. We can see it jumped up to 35 there for a second. And then, like I said, I can plug up 2 more devices if I wanted to. And we still have, 55 watts to spare between 2 more devices. So pretty nice charger. I'll try it with my MacBook and stuff like that as well. I'll have a link down in the description where you can pick one of these up on Amazon. Retails, I think, $89.99 around there. When it's not even on Anker's website yet. When it pops up on Anker's website, I'll put a shopping link on the YouTube thing where you can pick it up on there as well, if it's not already. But there we go. I am Colin with Techout. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day.